First meeting I ever had, I was like, we gotta sign DMX, and they laughed at me. Jay and Dame did not believe in DMX. Jay would be like, you think he's better than me?
Did you actually invent the 360 deal yourself?
I wouldn't say I invented the 360 deal. It's what I needed to do. Everybody has the ability to sign a contract and to roll with whomever they want to roll. To roll with me, I needed to have more skin
In my very first meeting, I proposed signing DMX, but they laughed at me. Neither Jay nor Dame believed in him. Jay would question, you think he's better than me? When asked if I invented the 360 deal, I'd say no, but it was necessary for what I needed to do. Anyone can sign a contract and choose who they align with. For me to engage, I needed to have more skin in the game. The controversy surrounding Jay-Z has escalated with new revelations from Irv Gotti. Irv suggests that Jay-Z might be involved in dubious tactics aimed at undermining DMX, a seminal figure in hip-hop. My focus wasn't on money, it was on integrity. I later discovered unsettling actions like lacing substances, which raised serious ethical questions. Why would someone do that to a child? These allegations stand in stark contrast to Jay-Z's public image as a proponent of the Black community and a supporter of fellow Black artists. Irv's claims paint Jay-Z as someone who might have actively worked against DMX. The speculation extends beyond personal rivalries to a possible coordinated effort involving Jay-Z and his mentor, music executive Leon Cohen, potentially aimed at sabotaging DMX's career or influence.
I'm saying they the record label executives, and it's like there's too much of that going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let me be me. Let me be the artist that I am and just play my motherfucking music. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Now they want you all up under this, you know, sitting at the going to dinner with them and.
This rumored plot is further darkened by suggestions that key figures in the music industry, including legal professionals close to Jay-Z, could have facilitated DMX's downfall. Known for his forthrightness about the exploitative nature of the music industry, DMX often criticized major record labels for their controlling tactics, which could have made him a target for those threatened by his influence. As DMX put it, there's too much control by record label executives. He expressed a desire to remain authentic, urging, "Let me be the artist I am and just play my music." Now, there seems to be an expectation for artists to conform, to engage in dinners and personal interactions that go beyond professional necessity. Irv Gotti, entering the scene with his explosive allegations, introduces another dimension to this complex tale. He accuses Jay-Z of harboring jealousy toward DMX, possibly manipulating situations to his detriment behind the scenes. Irv's personal accounts add further complexity, alleging that Jay-Z, in collaboration with Diddy, may have even set him up for a crime he did not commit. This accusation is part of a broader context in which Irv and other Black music moguls were purportedly trying to establish an all-Black-owned music distribution company, potentially disrupting the existing industry hierarchy dominated by entities they describe as culture vultures. If substantiated, these allegations could unveil a network of deceit and betrayal at the music industry's highest echelons, underscoring conflicts that transcend personal feuds to involve issues of systemic racial and economic domination. As these revelations emerge, they provoke robust debate and scrutiny, compelling fans and observers to challenge the narratives propagated by media conglomerates and to scrutinize the intricate dynamics that mold the music industry. Additionally, Jay-Z and Diddy's mentors, Lyor Cohen and Clive Davis, were reportedly displeased with this initiative, supposedly concocting a scheme to thwart Irv's plans. But what is the veracity of Irv's claims regarding Jay-Z's actions against DMX? And is there tangible evidence to support the rumors that Jay and Lyor Cohen plotted against DMX? Let's explore further.
Jay used to watch me grind with X, and he was off with the hitman. And then something strange happened when I made Get At Me Dog. I used to tell Leo in the midst of the whole staff, and I would tell him, yo, shut the fuck up, yo. I said, you work better when you shut up and get behind me.
Jay observed me closely as I worked with DMX. He was always in the shadows with the hitmen. Then something peculiar occurred once I achieved success. I used to instruct Leo and the entire staff at MST, telling them, shut up. You perform better when you're quiet and backing me up. Have you noticed how anyone who attempts to disclose secrets about Jay-Z and Diddy seems to face severe repercussions, being either permanently silenced or dismissed as insane? Take DMX, for example. Rumors suggest that he wanted to expose Jay-Z and Diddy for allegedly collaborating with white-owned labels against their own black artists. In a recently resurfaced interview, DMX openly criticized Diddy, accusing him of exploiting his artists.
Well, Locks got signed before I did. Even though I bought the Locks to our riders, they got signed. They were a safer group. Pop signed them. And it was a blessing and a curse because they were sure they were happy about getting signed first, and they were on the Benjamins and shit was going. But then he made them jiggy and put them in suits and made them write lyrics for him and took all that publishing and like, damn. I'm glad I didn't, you keep that. And we went to, like, as soon as they got signed, D was like, yo, if you like the Locks, like, X is like big dog, like, those are the pups, like, you love.
Financially speaking, things seemed promising when the Locks got signed. Acquiring a record deal was both a blessing and a curse. On one hand, they were thrilled to be signed. It felt like a big win as they joined the ranks of artists like Benjamin. However, the deal had its downsides. Their new image was a sharp departure from their original style. They were dressed in suits, and their music took on a more commercial tone. Moreover, they were tasked with writing lyrics for others while losing a significant portion of their publishing rights. Looking back, it was a mixed blessing. At the same time, DMX's relationship with Diddy was also complex. Initially overlooked by Diddy when it came to signing with Bad Boy Records, DMX caught Diddy's attention only after receiving a better offer from Def Jam. Suddenly, Diddy was keen to keep DMX, even promising to double what Def Jam offered. Despite this, DMX felt uneasy about some of the tactics at Bad Boy, which he perceived as underhanded.
Like maybe 3 weeks after I got signed to Def Jam, he's like, yo, I'll lace your pockets, I'll double what they gave you and lace your pockets. I'm like, nah, I'm cool.
The narrative then shifts focus to Jay-Z, who, despite the controversies surrounding Diddy, seemed to receive less scrutiny. After DMX's passing in April 2021, Jay-Z spoke on LeBron James's show about his competitive yet respectful relationship with DMX.
So there was a competitive thing, but it was big love. He was so competitive with me. I never met a human being more competitive with me, like ever, not even my big brother. Like, no one.
However, DMX had previously pointed out that it was actually Jay-Z who intensified their competition, particularly after Jay-Z became the president of Def Jam Records in 2004. Under Jay-Z's leadership, DMX felt sidelined during the release of his 6th studio album, Year of the Dog, again, despite DMX's strong track record with 5 consecutive #1 albums.
Like I said, I had the crazy track record, Def Jam, everything was good. I go to do the 6th album, and,
Jay-Z
somebody
became
else takes
president.
over. Yeah. When he first got the job, he hit me with the call like, yo, dog, inmates is running the building, like, yo, you good? Finish the album, shoot the video. What happened? Niggas go on vacation and, we don't know. What you mean you don't know? How do you listen to a whole album, pick a single, shoot a video, then don't know?
His 6th faced inexplicable delays. Jay-Z's brief retirement from performing seemed strategically timed with DMX's album release issues. DMX sensed that Jay-Z, upon his return to rap, was attempting to clear the field of competitors. This realization was an eye-opener for DMX, highlighting the ruthless aspects of the music industry where personal gains often overshadow loyalty and fairness. Feeling betrayed, DMX decided to leave Def Jam. His distrust towards Jay-Z was not just about their professional rivalry, but also involved deeper concerns about the influences and tactics within the industry that Jay-Z represented.
Okay, I see what's really good. You're trying to eliminate the competition. Because at first you retire, then get me off the label, now you're back rapping again. Okay. It's all good.
In the music industry, notable figures Jay-Z and DMX approached their careers differently. While Jay-Z integrated smoothly into the industry dynamics, DMX remained steadfast in his principles, openly criticizing the controlling nature of record labels over artists.
They got this new breed of rapper that's paying DJs to play they
Right.
you know what I'm saying? They the record label executives. It's like there's too much of that going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let me be me. Let me be the artist that I am and just play my motherfucking music. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Now they want you all up under this, you know, sitting at the going to dinner with them and like that, and you know, all that favor for a favor shit. I don't get down like that. Look, I give you the music, you give my money.
He emphasized his commitment to integrity, expressing frustration with the current trend of artists paying DJs to play their music and record label executives overstepping boundaries. Let me be the artist that I am, and just play my music, DMX argued, rejecting the quid pro quo nature of industry relationships, where personal favors are exchanged for professional gain.
The game is bullshit, man. The game is bullshit. If you want to rap or sing or whatever, don't become a part of the game. You know what? Listen to a song I called The Industry. And that pretty much explains, you know what I'm saying, what the shit about the industry. Man, it's not the same. The industry, it's not a f***ing game. The industry, real is dying to get in. The industry, just to find they don't fit in. The industry ain't what it used to be. The industry's trying to control the way you MC. They want you to dress like this and talk like that, but I'm going to dress like this and talk with the gap. The industry.
In 2005, DMX addressed these concerns through his track, The Industry, where he described the music business as exploitative, likening it to vultures preying on artists. He warned of the industry's capacity to break those without resilience and critiqued its push for artists to compromise their identities for commercial success. His lyrics highlighted the industry's indifference to artists as individuals, emphasizing that its survival depends on the very artists it often undermines. Conversely, Jay-Z has navigated the industry landscape adeptly from his career's inception, occasionally facing criticism for perceived disloyalties, such as the fallout with Dame Dash, co-founder of Rockefeller Records. Dame accused Jay-Z of betraying their partnership by aligning closely with influential and controversial figures within the industry like Leor Cohen, whom Dame claimed employed a divide-and-conquer strategy detrimental to Rockefeller. Dame recounted instances where Cohen's remarks nearly incited physical responses from artists like Beanie Siegel, noting Cohen's often offensive and demeaning attitude. This dynamic highlighted a stark contrast in how Jay-Z and DMX engaged with the industry's cultural and operational mechanics. Leor Cohen has been embroiled in numerous controversies throughout his career, often making headlines for his contentious statements. In 2018, he appeared on The Breakfast Club, where he expressed his concerns about the prevalence of drug use among rappers, specifically mentioning his sadness over DMX's struggles with addiction. However, when Charlemagne inquired why he continued to sign artists who glorified such lifestyles, Leor responded without hesitation, asserting that it was simply the nature of the business. He emphasized the dilemma faced when balancing talent against personal issues, stating that despite the contradictions, he couldn't abandon people because he had a business to run and people to support. When confronted with Dame Dash's accusation of him being a culture vulture, Leor dismissed the allegation nonchalantly, suggesting he was unfamiliar with Dame despite their shared financial successes. This dismissal sparked a sharp reaction from Dame Dash, who sarcastically thanked Cohen on Instagram for confirming his accusations, labeling him as someone who exploits artists and distorts their legacies, while denying the influence of the true innovators within the culture. The controversy around Leor Cohen took a darker turn with rumors that he was instrumental in Jay-Z's alleged interference with DMX's career. This narrative gained more traction after DMX's unfortunate death. During a memorial held for DMX in Brooklyn on April 25, 2021, Leor participated via a recording that began with respectful tributes, but ended with him shockingly referring to DMX as a gremlin and suggesting his death was not unexpected due to his reckless nature. This remark, made during such a solemn occasion, was widely criticized as being in extremely poor taste, further validating Dame Dash's criticisms of Cohen. Furthermore, there are allegations involving Jay-Z and Diddy, where they are accused of undermining Irv Gotti and other black music executives who were attempting to establish an all-black-owned music distribution network. According to Irv Gotti, this initiative was inspired by Suge Knight's visionary idea to unite artists across various genres under a single collective that would also provide crucial benefits such as healthcare and retirement plans, benefits not typically available in the music industry. The strategy was to have the record labels absorb the initial costs of union dues as part of the recording budgets. Artists would then reimburse these expenses through their album sales. This approach aimed to transform the music industry by providing artists with essential benefits and capitalizing on their collective power. During a 2002 speech at the West Coast Hip Hop Summit, Suge Knight underscored how major labels dominate by owning the masters of artists' recordings. This model perpetuates artists' reliance on the labels, as many do not possess the clout needed to regain ownership of their masters. Suge Knight asked rhetorically about the number of artists interested in forming a union to challenge these norms, to band together and negotiate better terms with major labels. He pointed out issues like inadequate royalties from Universal or a lack of ownership over one's masters at Sony. Knight was forthright in his appeal, urging industry heavyweights, including Diddy, to back the establishment of an artists' union. He questioned the absence of prominent figures like Jay-Z and Redman, stressing the need for solidarity. Knight lamented the lack of reciprocal support during East Coast events, despite the West Coast extending its hospitality. He criticized the pretense of industry figures who failed to show genuine support. At that time, although Chuck D had not yet endorsed Knight's ambitious initiative, it was suggested that he, along with almost all major figures from black record labels, with the notable exceptions of Jay-Z and Diddy, eventually supported the movement. There were persistent rumors linking Jay-Z and Diddy with federal authorities and other influential individuals. Intriguingly, Diddy's background included allegations that his late father, Melvin Combs, had ties with the notorious Harlem drug lord Frank Lucas and was murdered in 1972 in an unresolved case. Diddy's former bodyguard suggested that Melvin was killed by his associates for allegedly being an informant. Furthermore, there was a chilling rumor that the bullets that fatally wounded Biggie Smalls in 1997 were actually intended for Diddy. Knight reminisced about a night at Andre Harrell's house when he warned of a potential attack. Despite his warnings, their vehicle stopped at a traffic light, leading to Biggie's untimely death, which Knight insinuated was a tragic error. He also reflected on a conversation with Wolf's mother after his death, emphasizing unmet obligations. He was given $300,000, yet he was delusional about his grandeur. All he wanted to do was smoke weed. Let's dive deeper, bro. Remember how you had your security team scout for people to testify against Sean? Man, I won't even label you a C or call you a rat dog. You're worse than your father. Let me drop some intel on you about him. Do you realize that meeting in New York, the one Freddie wanted with you? Freddie Mears was supposed to tell you the real deal about your father. You would have ended up just like him that night if I hadn't been in the car with you. Your father died because he was about to snitch and rat out his crew over Diddy's alleged ties with federal authorities. There's speculation that these connections might be why he's managed to dodge repercussions for various dubious activities over the years. Some in the industry, like Kanye West, have tried to bring these connections to light. Kanye even called Diddy a Fed a year before Cassie sued him. Recall that incident in late 2022 when Kanye was effectively blacklisted for exposing certain power dynamics within the music industry. After this, Diddy tried to arrange a face-to-face meeting with Kanye, who, suspicious of Diddy's motives, declined and made their text exchanges public. In these messages, Kanye boldly dared Diddy to confront him, underlining the tense and distrustful nature of their interactions. Diddy's response was to suggest a face-to-face meeting once he landed, asking for the address. However, Kanye felt uneasy, suspecting a setup despite Diddy's reassurances of no threat and messages of goodwill. Kanye was blunt in his response, indicating that he saw this as more than a personal meeting and intended to show those who had influenced Diddy to contact him that he could not be threatened or manipulated. Kanye emphasized these points during his appearance on the Drink Champs podcast, accusing Diddy of being in league with federal authorities. Regarding others like Meek Mill and Puff Daddy, Kanye dismissed them as pretenders who couldn't intimidate anyone because their tough talk was part of a deal to get out of jail. Emphasizing his independence, Kanye told paparazzi that, unlike Diddy and other industry figures, he couldn't be controlled because he hadn't committed the serious crimes others allegedly had. He then name-dropped Jay-Z and Beyoncé, suggesting that even they were under industry control. A black-owned distribution network. Here's how Gotti described the situation during an interview. "They hit us with everything they had. It was supposed to shut us down, scare us straight out of the game. But we stood our ground, fought back, and here we are, masters. They hold sway over icons like Jay-Z and Beyoncé, yet they can't restrain me. There's no name I will shy away from mentioning. It's all out in the open now." Kanye West, too, has implicated Jay-Z and Beyoncé, suggesting that even they aren't immune to the influence of industry puppeteers. Discussions about Jay-Z have grown particularly intense following his decision to name Desiree Perez as the CEO of Roc Nation, especially given her past as a federal informant. Recall when Jay-Z made that remark? I'll play it again. Watch the reaction of the woman seated just behind him. Her concern about how Jay-Z might react stems from her position as CEO of Roc Nation. Yet, in a previous chapter of her life, she was a federal informant. Back in 1994, Desiree Perez was caught transporting 35 kilos of cocaine into Miami. Under pressure, she agreed to cooperate with the DEA. It's noteworthy that Desiree Perez's name was one Dame Dash refused to utter during a Breakfast Club interview. He said there are some people we simply don't talk about anymore. Around the same time, Jay-Z and his PR team launched Roc Nation's prison reform initiative with Meek Mill. Her past efforts seemingly paid off when, on January 19, 2021, her criminal record was expunged by outgoing President Donald Trump. This appointment sparked considerable controversy and discussion, highlighted when the New York Daily News reported on Desiree's background in 2015. Dame Dash, appearing on The Sway in the morning show, voiced serious concerns about Jay-Z's choices, particularly because of their shared past and their associates' run-ins with federal law enforcement, including Rockefeller co-founder Kareem "Biggs" Burke. Dame found this move by Jay-Z to be particularly troubling, suggesting a disconcerting link between Roc Nation and federal authorities. "It has to be some truth to it," he said, referring to the reporting on Jay-Z's connections. "From where I'm from, I can't associate with that. It scares me. I know Biggs is in jail. Irv Gotti was hassled for years over something he didn't do. I need to stay away from all that. My friends have been jailed over minor things. The feds are always around, and in my world, that's not acceptable." Revisiting the concept of a wholly black-owned music distribution company, Irv Gotti and Jay Prince discussed how federal interference has continually thwarted this ambitious endeavor. This interference was dramatically underscored in January 2003 when federal agents raided the offices of Murder, Inc. in New York. Irv and his brother Chris were subsequently charged with money laundering, a case that highlighted the significant hurdles faced by those seeking to alter the power dynamics within the music industry. Facing up to 20 years in prison, the brothers ultimately exonerated themselves, with Irv asserting that the charges were a deliberate sabotage to prevent them from revolutionizing the music industry through a black-owned distribution network. Their plans for unionization are part of a broader, ongoing struggle within the industry concerning issues of control and ownership. Jay Prince disclosed a troubling incident from the 1990s involving a DEA agent named Jack Schomer, who was allegedly assigned not merely to surveil or arrest him, but to threaten his life. Prince's own investigation into Schomer revealed a disturbing history of violence, including multiple alleged killings. Amid these revelations, questions continue to arise about the possible involvement of Jay-Z and Diddy in undermining a black-owned music company. According to sources, there is significant documentation at Bad Boy Records that suggests Diddy's extensive cooperation with federal authorities. Alongside Diddy, Kirk Burroughs was also mentioned as involved in these dealings with the authorities, discussing not only extortion, but their attempts to secure a distribution deal. This narrative is further complicated by accusations against Jay-Z, with claims circulating that he too might have assisted federal authorities. These claims are part of a broader discussion about the decline of rap in New York, with allegations that certain figures worked to prevent new artists from gaining a platform. An interview with Irv Gotti has also resurfaced, adding to the controversy, in which Gotti recounts how Jay-Z and Cohen were dismissive of DMX's potential, even mocking his prospects for success. Gotti recalls the skepticism he faced when he first proposed signing DMX, with Jay-Z and others doubting DMX's appeal compared to more mainstream artists. Despite the initial resistance, Gotti continued to support DMX, leading to a shift away from the era of shiny suits to a more authentic street aesthetic in rap. With DMX at the forefront of this movement, Gotti's persistence paid off, marking a significant change in the music scene and challenging the industry's prevailing trends at the time. This story highlights the often complex dynamics and rivalries within the music industry, where personal beliefs and biases can significantly impact artists' careers and the evolution of musical genres. He said, "You work better when you shut up and get behind me. Now this is what we're doing." He was silenced. This incident has spurred fans to unite in support of DMX, viewing these events as confirmation of his long-standing complaints against industry figures. Since DMX's passing, some fans and commentators have gone as far as to claim that his death was an industry sacrifice, referencing a statement he made about knowing who would be responsible if something were to happen to him. One fan stated, "Rest in peace, DMX. This brother was live, and he told us who to blame if anything happened to him, yet we still think differently. No, he was murdered, but people with money know this, and they had the audacity to sweep it under the rug for now, because what's done in the dark will come to light. You are missed and still loved," another chimed in. "I've been saying, at the end, DMX wasn't getting high. He was as sober as a fish out of water. When the industry knows your past or weaknesses, they will exploit it later, when they're tired of you, or you become a threat to their agenda." These conversations evoke a blend of grief, suspicion, and unresolved questions among fans and observers. What do you think? Did jealousy drive Jay-Z to conspire against DMX? Is there something more to the story of DMX's untimely death? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to check out the next video for more insights.